Brainstorming and sharing ideas is the funnest part of the creative process. We decided to skip the boring part of actually making stuff and just do the fun part. I'm your host, Tom Walma.
Kim Cook.
Brian Atkinson.
Hi, I'm Tommy Cook. Vote for me.
And this is Creativity Wasted.
All right. My creative idea that I was thinking of in sustainable efforts is like, so when you buy a TV or you buy a computer, there's like a place like $5 or something like that, something fiscally attached to that electronic device, that when it's time for night-night or for it to go bye-bye, like you don't need it anymore, it like goes to it. So what I'm getting at is like
Bottle deposit for everything.
Well,
a bottle deposit for your TV.
Yeah, that's what I heard there. But then you said it goes there, and I thought, oh, wait, it, pops up and goes there? Like walks itself to the recycling center, to the bottle deposit thing at the grocery store and shoves itself into the hole?
Well, it's possible in this day and age that electronics will get up and leave if you're not worthy of their time. They will just abandon their owners after the warranty expires.
Yeah, that checks out.
So something along those lines is what I'm thinking of, because it's like in sustainable efforts, it's like I'm a tech guy. I get it. I want to buy tech all the time. However, it's like, where does tech go once it's not high tech? It's like in a landfill. And those landfills aren't nearly as pretty as like, I don't know, as buying a brand new television or something.
Right.
So I'd love like to understand the process, I guess. I want to invent something that we can see the process and make it prettier instead of it ending up and just being like pollutants.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there are some electronics recycling companies that have their finger on the pulse of this already, where they are taking in equipment that is whatever degree of used, but they take cables and Christmas lights and all kinds of stuff, right? And they are providing job training for people to help them find employment after the fact, that they then repair these things if they're valuable for repair. And if not, then as part of their training process, they take them all apart down to the smallest components and then properly recycle the plastic, the metal, the silicon, all the things and the stuff and the bits and the pieces to do that. It's a company called CompRenew, and they get connected with a variety of different companies that are, like the Goodwills and the Salvation Army and stuff like that, that are like, oh, we got this tech, but we can't do anything with it. CompRenew's like,
are they hiring?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Because I got a lot of electronics that, like, I need to dump on them, and, like, this seems
I do
like...
a yearly purge and kind of take, like, okay, I have this thing that I'm not using anymore, this thing, it's in my basement for a while, and then I take it over there. Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah. It doesn't go there by itself, though. And that's why you have piqued my interest, because it's like, I want it to live in my basement for a little while, and then like, okay, old TV, it's time to go. And it gets, oh, okay. And it walks away. And it takes itself there. Yeah.
And Tommy's provides the financial incentive to donate it, too, by paying a bottle deposit when you buy it. That makes it better.
I do like the deposit idea. And I'm curious, like, where that even came from. Because it's like, I was so young when that was brought about.
I was not.
Okay, but
are you going to give us the history lesson?
So when I was a kid, we had Woodsy the Owl. He was the pollution answer to Smokey Bear. So they had Smokey Bear, only you can prevent forest fires. So they
Wait.
brought in Woodsy the Owl wearing the scout uniform, and his slogan was "Give a hoot, don't pollute." Like, we had to be told in the early 70s not to throw stuff out of our car windows onto the street. Otherwise, we are going to make that Indian keep crying. And if that Indian cried anymore, our lives were going to be just absolutely bereft of human condition. So they gave us Woodsy the Owl, the cartoon, and it wasn't always a cartoon though. Most of the time, it was some dude in a big owl suit, and he told us, "Give a hoot, don't pollute." So like, you guys are probably, I don't know, did you guys have like McGruff the crime dog, or who was your icon from like Saturday morning TV and that kind of stuff that taught you life lessons?
I feel like I want to make one up.
I have McGruff, but I did want to ask if that owl was the same one that knew how many licks that it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop.
Yeah, completely unrelated.
Owls are very big.
Yeah, so the owl that you're talking about, the Tootsie Pop owl, he had the mortarboard graduate cap, and the spectacles, more of a professorial look, whereas Woodsy the Owl was very much like the park ranger style owl.
No hat, sans hat.
No, he had the not the Smokey Bear ranger hat, but like a Boy Scout hat.
Good.
That kind of thing. Yeah.
I hate hatless owls, so that's
yeah, right? Yeah.
Nice to know that in the 70s, people and owls could get by on just one job.
Yeah, right.
Didn't have to.
For sure.
Do both.
Yeah. When we were making $3 an hour for minimum wage, we could live on that for a while. It's okay. I remember 35-cent gas. I don't remember cheaper than that, but I remember that. But yeah, they had to tell us all this stuff like to stop pollution. And while they were doing that, like, well, there's a lot of pop cans, soda cans, however you want to call it. And at the time, most of them were like steel with a seam down the side, and you had to pop them open with the can opener. And then they started doing the pull-off tabs, and people would pull the pull-off tabs out and then drop them down in there, drink it, and they choke to death on those things. So they had to make the kind that didn't pull off completely, and they started making them out of aluminum. And then kind of as they got into aluminum, then they were like, hey, what if instead of littering, people had to pay a nickel or a penny or a dime? And so depending on what state you're in. So are all of us in Michigan? We're all in Michigan? Yes, we get a dime. Iowa's got a nickel. Maine's got a penny, but Maine's got the penny for glass jars. So like if you get done with your jar of pickles, you take the glass jar and get a penny back on that.
Well, now they're getting rid of the penny. So
right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, what people don't even carry cash anymore. We don't need change. So like if you're recycling, what incentive do we have to give to the youth, Gen Alpha, Gen Z, to sustain this environment? And it's going to be like, hey, I'm Elon, your AI friend.
No.
I don't know.
Oh, sweet fancy Moses, no. Oh, no.
The cans will fly out to recycle them, just like the TV. So I'm all over stuff returning itself.
I remember being furious that when I tried to recycle my old iMac, because Apple has the good recycling program. I went all the way to the mall, and they said, well, it's too old to give you any money for recycling it.
Yeah, we'll take it. They still take it. Yeah, I gave them a very old Mac once that was like, hey, I used this as a primary computer for 14 years, and it finally wouldn't take the upgrades anymore, and I got a new one and brought it in, and they were like, we can take it and we can recycle it.
But it has to be like under 3 years old or something crazy for them to give you money back. It's ridiculous.
Something back, yeah.
What type of monster is buying a new iMac every year to get the recycling money back? I think
there are people out there who are buying new cars every year or two, and I think it's the same people.
Well, at least they're not
Just finance it. Just finance it all. That's all.
I found this small computer shop that like I bring like recyclables and that kind of stuff to, because it's like, instead of the recycling center, you know, they'll just take it. They're like, oh yeah, some machine shops want these kind of things and this kind of things. But that's what I'm getting at is like, shouldn't it be on the major corporations to worry about where this goes?
Well,
and that's really what I wanted to bring to your guys' attention is like, we as like, you know, the consumer, you know, we're going to buy this thing. If we're going to buy it and be with your brand, the least we could do is give it a proper burial. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Well,
okay,
like they were always told us that the plastic is so recyclable, and it turns out it's not, you know, and then it's all stacking up everywhere. So shouldn't the corporations be responsible to say, okay, you're creating, filling, using, selling this packaging, shouldn't you be responsible to figure out how do you make it in such a way that it breaks down, is truly recyclable, that kind of stuff. So I try to keep to the metal cans and things and
I mean, they could talk to the turtles. They could talk to the turtles. They could talk to the fish, see if they could put solar panels in weird places that we didn't know existed. I don't know.
Yeah, the turtles?
Yeah. They got those shells. They got feelings too.
I thought you were connecting the turtles to the plastic straws up the nose. Like that sea turtle Todd that was inspiring us all to quit using plastic straws. It's like, was he doing lines of Coke and got that straw stuck up his nose? Nobody tells the story of how that straw got up there in the first place. All they do is show you the sad video of trying to pull that sucker out of there.
Brian, it's not a straw anymore. It's a dongle from the wire of your old 4S iPhone that won't charge anymore. Because where do you put that thing? Mm-hmm. Who cares? It's up this squirrel's nose. That's what I got. Sustainable thoughts.
Yeah.
I was used computer wire in my weed whacker.
Sure. Yeah.
There you go.
And then it breaks down a little bit at a time in your yard.
Yeah.
Megabytes.
Yeah. Microplastics.
Gigabytes out of your yards.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, here's a dumb idea. So,
good.
Companies are always looking. It's related to Tommy's. Companies are always they want your data. Mm-hmm. Facebook, social media, Microsoft. They all want your data. Now, if you're donating the device or turning it in for the deposit, and it's got data on it, like you didn't wipe the data off, do they give you more money?
No, no, they don't.
They should.
No. But like the organization I mentioned earlier, which Comprenew, which by the way is a not-for-profit, they wipe the drives. So any things that have data on it, they're wiping. And that's just is like, or are they selling your data to keep their organization alive? I don't believe that, but I want to trust that they're wiping drives like they say they are.
There's gotta be 16-year-olds working there searching for porn off the drives, and
it's more likely than it's 35-year-old guys down on their luck, learning how to fix stuff.
Hey, I'm 35, learning to fix stuff.
Boom. Right there.
Do you have a theme song for your recycling company?
Oh,
jingle.
That's a great question. I got a bass guitar right here, but no song.
It's within reach.
You bought this electronic. You don't want it anymore. Have Elon pay for it. He can afford it more than your squirrel.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of our business. Thank you.
Nice. There you go. I just realized I have an 8-year-old iPad on my desk that's just sitting there waiting for me to.
Not as impressive.
It's a paperweight.
That reminded me of a time in high school where I was in a friend's car. He had a basketball in his trunk. I said, "You always have a basketball like at the ready in case a game pops up?" He said, "Yeah." Tommy's like that with the guitar. It's like literally, it's just always within reach. Anything else with your recycling?
No, that's all I got, and I'm so happy to hear your guys' feedback from it. I'm like, oh man, I thought this was just gonna plummet, but yeah, you guys have really let me know that this already exists. And if the only way it doesn't exist is if it gets up and walks itself out the door because you're not worthy of its services.
Yeah. I think the prime part of the idea is the bottle deposit.
Yeah.
And that doesn't exist.
No.
That's I think the best part of the idea.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hey.
Any shows you guys want to plug before we go? Podcasts, socials?
Yeah, I mean, I got a show tomorrow night and on Friday.
Great. You got a Valentine's show?
Yeah, I'm doing a Valentine's Day show, XOX, tomorrow night at Ziggy's. I got 4 comics, 2 bands, and then on Friday I'm doing a show in Michigan at the Rex down there. So looking forward to that. Hopefully the weather holds up.
Wednesday, March 26th at the Wealthy Theater. I'm going to be there with a couple of local TV personalities stepping into comedy roles. Matt Sharp, he runs Stand Up Therapy Live. Local weather personality Terry DeBoer is going to do her comedy debut. She's going to do 5 minutes or so. Rick Weist, he's the plant guy on radio and TV shows on Wood Radio. And we have a host, Kyle Underwood, former TV personality. And then there's me, who I'll be closing that show up. Really looking forward to it. The $15 tickets are on sale now at the wealthytheater.org website.
What's the show called?
Stand Up Therapy Live.
All right. I'm doing the Sunday Night Funnies on March 2nd for Women's History Month. So me and some funny women will be on there. And then I'm doing a couple of Laugh Fest shows. So on the 5th, it is the Cancer Survivor Showcase. Very tough to qualify for that show, but I did
Good job.
survive and I did make it this year. And then I'm also doing another show, North Kent Comedy. So the Cancer Survivor one's on the 5th and the North Kent Comedy is on the 6th. And you can just get that on the Laugh Fest website. Doing a show in Muskegon with Eric Olive. That's on the 14th, 21st. Mark Monto's show in Burton, Michigan. And then on the 29th, the Muskegon Yacht Club.
That's a really fun show.
I don't have much to plug. I have a North Kent show, I think, in April. I'll put
Nice.
the date.
I just want to plug one thing. At the end of May, beginning of June, I will be doing the musical American Idiot. So I'm super excited about that. It's down in Wyandotte, and I'm playing the role of Tunny, which is a combination of Tommy and funny. So it's like kind of cool. Right? Yeah, but I'm super excited about it. 20 years since Green Day's American Idiot album came out, and I just feel like it's super timely. So I'm kind of taking a break on mics, still producing a few shows and that kind of stuff, but getting back in the musical theater realm of the performing arts.
Yeah, way to go.
Thanks.
This has been a production of Planet Amp Podcast, powered by Pinecast.